Hey, welcome back. It's the live stream. It's October the, I think it's October the 6th. It's October the 6th. GMT stream. I'm the Tokenomist. I'm going to talk to you today about what's going on in the markets right now. Actually, as I've just gone live, it's about just after 9 o'clock in the morning. We're trying to get it all done before the cleaners come through my house. I'm one of those people that has a cleaner and then tidies up beforehand because you don't want the cleaner to think you're dirty. We've got this cleaner a while back. My wife got the cleaner, and she was like, "Your house is very dirty." Oh God, must clean it before the cleaner comes. So it's spotless. Blunt Eastern European style. So that's what was going on. Right, so markets opened up. They opened a little bit down. The UK FTSE was down. They've now just started to tank. Now there's the Bloomberg Commodity Index is at an all-time high. That's an index. It's kind of it's Bloomberg's own index, proprietary index that tracks all the different commodities of the world. Commodities being things like oil, gas, lumber, pigskins. What do you got? I think I once had a client that used to trade corn. Was it corn? Oh, I swear, wheat. Traded wheat, and they traded the ticker WEET, wheat, and it was wild. And in fact, coal's been flying as well. I spoke to a good friend of mine recently who is he's an energies trader, energies broker, and brokers on behalf of energy traders. And he used to be a coal broker, and then the coal market just died of death, and it's come right back. I think it's quadrupled in the last few months or so. So it's big supply shortages. There's a massive demand for energy. One of the things he spoke to me about was how the Russia's Nord Stream natural gas pipeline was turned off or turned down low, and it was restricting the supply of natural gas, pushing the prices up into Europe and causing just a supply shortage and a commodity shortage. In the UK, as a lot of people sort of putting it down to it being a political thing, like it's Brexit. Well, Brazil are short of. Brazil use a lot of hydropower, and they've had a very dry last year, so they've had lower energy from renewables. They've had to try and be bringing in natural gas. So there's just these big economies around the world who are demanding it. China also use things like hydropower. They've had the same problem. So they've been pulling in a lot of fossil fuels and just drain on the market rather than using things that don't normally require an impact to the supply chain. So it's causing massive inflation for the commodity where everyone's competing for it. Inflation is simply the price going up because you want it and I want it. And if you want it and you've got a pound more than me, you might pay that pound more to get that to meet your needs sooner, and therefore I don't get it. So I've then got to pay more or pay the new price. And prices don't tend to ever come down. We see that with petrol all the time at the pumps in the UK. Petrol, I always find Americans, they make me laugh because they go, gas is expensive. No, you haven't been to the UK. Petrol, as we like to call it, is incredibly expensive, and even when the price falls, the price of the pumps doesn't fall. A little can of Monster. There's no tea, there's no crumpets today. Trying to be good, trying to cut down, hence the sports top. By wearing sports tops, I feel I will be fitter. Don't have to actually do any exercise, just wear the gear. And this is because my hair is actually no, it's got a bit flatter now. I used a blow dryer earlier on, and it was I'm just checking my hair. I might go to Ibiza tomorrow. I need to book a flight. So anyway, on that, right? So market's a bit wobbly. The US inflation read coming out this week. Next week, and it's just in general the price of commodities going up means there's big concerns of more inflation fears, and inflation plays into the fears around things like tech stocks who have very high multiples. So if I told you that I'm going to take away 1% of your earnings over the next 100 years, that's quite a big impact on the share price because they have these big long-term, far-out multiples. Anyway, so that's where we're seeing things like these. Some of the tech stocks will suffer when you have inflation. When you have negative inflation readings, what you will see is we have seen generally tech stocks fall because of the higher earnings. We've seen more defensive stocks, things like energy companies, utilities, tobacco companies should generally historically be a defensive stock, although they have the ethical concerns. People don't want to invest in them. So they have very good dividends if you're interested. If you want your 6-7% per annum, I know most people want that in 5 minutes on crypto, but it causes more uncertainty. You've got Elizabeth Warren in the US, who's once again called out. She's a senator there. She's talking very vocally about crypto. She hasn't said anything about crypto this time. She just was lampooning, I think is a good word, or lambasting still her take on Fed Chairman Jerome Powell being renominated. So that's more uncertainty in America. The nomination's coming up soon. She spoke about that again last night, and was speaking about it last week. So you've got the inflation fears, you've got those. You've had a few of the markets did recover yesterday, but then the Asian markets have softened again, and so we've just seen the European indexes just drop like a stone back, and the UK FTSE back on 7,000. So my cat's about to come on the camera. So when you have uncertainty, you get panic in the markets, and that's always the way. And it's one of the things I said yesterday is if you have a lack of certainty about something, there's always a trade-off with that risk. If I have less certainty than I had this morning, I want a higher return. So there you do get that. So I'm just really aware that my cat is just trying to move around. It's actually sat on my notes. My notes for. Just get my notes out of the way. Come on, if you get ruffles. His tail there. Let's bring it on stream. There's my cat. Say hello. I quite like the markets myself. More of a man in the old commodities game. Anyway, right, off he goes. Sat on my notes. So there you go. So it's very distracting. So we've seen that. Let's just bring over a bit of my browser here. Let's just bring the screen sharing over so you can see what I've been looking at besides things. So you can see here at the top, European markets tumbles, US bond yields. So when you get inflation fears, you have US bond yields tend to rise. When US bond yields tend to rise, that means people can get a higher return with no risk, or very, very low risk. And you see people use that as kind of a bellwether indicator of where the market's going. And I think this plays to a lot of things. Is we've seen Bitcoin tick back up. We've seen a number of the cryptos move back up. They've not all gone fully where I'd like to see them just yet. It's still early days. Bitcoin still is barely above the 50k mark, and probably as we speak, it's probably dipped below it. If you're going to put your money in stocks right now, I think you've almost got as much risk downside in certain stocks, particularly tech stocks, particularly high value stocks, in the near term than you would with crypto, with certainly the big blue chip cryptos, but less potential return. I mean, let's be brutally honest. If you've got you've got an awful lot of people talking about the uptake and demand of things like Cardano and Ethereum and Solana and other layer one blockchains. I'm not an expert in all of the layer one blockchains, so that's why I didn't mention them all. Phantom, obviously, is one that I've been looking at. What happens when the market tanks in crypto? Well, we see drop-offs of 60, 70, 80%. We saw the markets absolutely, cataclysmically fall at a big level around about the May time, and those things have recovered. But the upside, and they've recovered. They sort of fell by sort of 50, 60%. But the upside is quite stark as to how big it could be. It could be 4 times, 5 times, 6 times multiples. That's saying that loosely. I know there's no science behind that. I think we can all agree that a layer one blockchain like Phantom, for example, and I say for example, there's other ones like Hedera and things. They're fairly cheap. They're minnows. It's very easy for them to ramp straight up to the 10, 20, 30 billion market caps over the next year or so. Are they going to fall 90%? Probably not at this stage. I don't think. I think there's a lot of adoption going on, and there's a lot of money going into it. And I think once money starts to go into it, big money, Visa buying NFTs, they did that as a mark and say, hey, we're getting involved in this space. It's good branding as well. I just think there's probably almost as much risk in certain stocks than there is in certain cryptos, and I think the risk return is just greater potential return right now, and I think there's a lot of money bleeding out from that and going into there, and it's not going back into those meme stocks and things. So just a thought, but that's it. So markets tumbling, inflation concerns, long-term tech stocks not going to go anywhere, are they? More and more people are buying online than they ever did. It's just going to keep going that way. So that's the state of the markets. So where are we looking in terms of NFT projects that have happened? A couple of things. So those who know I'm also a Cryptodad, follow that very closely. Cryptodads have just announced last night that the snapshot of the wallets for the Crypto Mums drop will be done on October the 15th. So for those who don't know, it's not just a Cryptodads community. There's also a lot of women involved, and they're trying to build a whole family of these crypto families. So you've got the Cryptodads, the Crypto Mums are being dropped, I think just after October the 15th. So they're going to take a snapshot of the wallet, How it's going to work is you get one mum per wallet that holds a dad. So if you've got 3 dads in a wallet, you'll only get one mum. That means that there'll potentially be less crypto mums available. I actually think these are going to be quite interesting because I think there's not a huge number of female avatar projects out there. There are some. There aren't many fun ones. I don't think, if I'm being brutally honest. I think there's an awful lot of seriously taken ones. Some interesting ones like Wild Women and things. Very much more avant-garde, but in terms of fun and don't take yourself too seriously, it's one of the first ones, and I think it could be really interesting. And I actually think, and I've seen people talk about it in Discord, I think it has the potential to have a higher floor price, and not just because of the lower circulation. Because I could wipe my backside and do a shit, and there'll be a circulation of one of that exact pattern. It doesn't mean you're going to spend money on it. So, and if you do, yeah, we'll chat about it in the comments. So there's that. So that's if you want to get involved and build, see a new project growing. I think what's interesting is every NFT project talks about how good their community is, but ultimately you see certain communities that have a higher amount of when Moon, when Lambo, and all the other things. And I think why I've stuck around with Cryptodads myself, and it's just myself, and it's not for everyone, but myself. And I'm quite critical of a lot of projects, including ones I put my own money in. People go, oh, you're fudding your own bags. No, I'm just not a moron. If I think the situation has changed, I'm prepared to go, I'm selling and I'm going. So with the project, the founders are doxed. They are, and they bring out quality PR, quality marketing. We see good people from outside of the sector who have an external audience that sees them, that go and pick up and purchase a Cryptodad. So we've seen a few. We saw a bigwig Brian Garrett recently. This week actually picked up his first Cryptodad. He was looking at getting an NFT, bought a Cryptodad. He has a huge audience of his own that is outside of the crypto world, and that brings potential new people on ramping into the industry. And so they are continuing to do good PR in that respect. And if you understand how effective PR and branding is, and sort of general influencer marketing is, you'll be drawn to that. But I think the Crypto Mums thing's pretty cool, and I like some of the stuff they've been doing. The Movember charity donation was made very quickly. It was done based on a vote in the community. It wasn't a random, okay guys, we've done the charity donation, that's cool. It's like, well, hang on, can I just see the receipt? Hang on, can I just see which charity you picked? Hang on, can I see if there's any links between that charity and you? So there's a lot of things where there's still a lot of opacity and things that aren't clear in the industry, and I think we as a community that buy NFTs have got to start holding some of these projects to account and say, right, why are your details not in your Discord link? Why can't I see your Twitter? Why have you only got 20 followers on Twitter and you want me to put my hard-earned money in your project? Answer some questions. Where's the money going from merchandise? How much? Where's the buying decisions? Who are you buying from? I want to see who you're buying from. I want to see the invoices and records. I want to be held in a public Google Drive that we can all see, at least read only. There's nothing to stop you from doing that. Let's put the things in there. Let's keep some accounts. We've probably got people within our community who are accountants. By the way, this isn't Cryptodads. This is not Cryptodads at all. The wallet's public. The community wallet's public. I asked the founder of Cryptodads, there's two, I asked him, I said, what happens with the merch? You mentioned merch. How much of that, is that something that benefits us in the community wallet? And he was like, oh, yeah, of course. I was like, you probably want to say that because people will ask the question. But he answered the question very quickly, very easily. Wasn't any problems me asking that question. And the wallet is available and you can see it. I actually don't know the details off the top of my head, but they are there. So that's really important to be aware of when you're looking at these projects. Ask yourself these questions. Do they write to you with clarity back in the Discord? Do they look like they're someone who is able to handle tough questions well, and they answer them well? I often think if you're pitching a product, I don't know if you've ever seen Shark Tank or we have Dragon's Den in the UK. If you pitch someone something, like you try and sell someone something, if they have to ask you a question because you didn't effectively cover it in their mind, you've lost something. I think if you answer it and you answer it well, they're like, cool, okay, it handles that concern I had. But better still, rather than giving someone a concern that you want to address, a much better move is to pre-handle it in your pitch effectively, and they go, wow, that ticks the box. In the mind of the listener, having a box ticked is much more powerful than having a concern addressed. What would you rather have? A box ticked? Wow, tick box. It's all of the box ticks. Or, okay, I was concerned, but you've addressed it. There's a negative point, and I don't think you ever you're ever going to match having a box ticked. So I think that's very important. I think this is where a lot of projects are started. Look, I'd love to do an NFT project. If I did it, I'd know a lot of the concerns that people would have. Now, I have no expertise in the NFT building space, but I know what people look for in investment, and I know what it takes to sell. And I've sold. I was trying to think of a company that I once sold as a share. I remembered it now. I was trying to think of it in the share. So it was about 15 years ago. 15 years, no, it wasn't, about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it was a cold, wet. It was the wettest summer that England had ever had on record, as they say. Every year is always the something of the something. It was the wettest summer and the coldest summer England had on record. Britain had on record, and our floor director had come back in hammered, drunk as a skunk. He was like, "Right, guys, I've got a cracking position of stock that I picked up for us. We've helped them out at a fundraising. We've got a really good discount, and I think investors are going to love this." And it did sound like this as well. He was a dickhead. So he came in hammered, and he'd agreed to make an investment on behalf of the company, on behalf of the company's investors, potentially, of quite a substantial sum. And we were like, "Okay," and he goes, "Yeah, we're going to get in about 60% discount to market price. They're going to do a dilution," which means it's not really worth 60% because they're going to dilute it down. Although, you know, if they get the money, maybe, you know, there's a good story. It could stay a higher market cap anyway. "Yeah, we're going to get a massive discount. Nice bit of commission for you guys if you place this. Blah 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 blah." Anyway, "Okay, what's the company?" He goes, "They're called Hill Station. They're an ice cream company." And we're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" It's the coldest, wettest summer England's had on record. And it was now like September the 5th. So it was basically the end of the summer. And we were calling up intelligent people and saying, "Hi, look, we're just taking a position in a company we think has got the potential to recover. It's had a few financial issues. We've helped them with the fundraising. We can get them therefore at a discount share price. We think something you could sit on long term. It's called Hill Station." They go, "Okay, yeah, cool. What does it do?" "Oh, it does ice cream." "Mate, it's pouring down with rain out here." And that's about positioning. So having, you know, and I could sell that. I still managed to sell that and place that on behalf of the floor. And so if you can do that, you know, you have an understanding of sales. I think it's a very high level of sales. But I think if you sell anything at any level, if you sell cameras, glasses, dental treatment, whatever, you understand that and I've waffled a long time, that it's better to tick a box than to have a concern addressed. So that's something that a lot of these project devs who know how to do coding don't fully understand, and it frustrates the life out of me. So if I had my own NFT project, I wouldn't let people have questions to ask that weren't already answered. I wouldn't launch a project without a roadmap that at least said we're going to go somewhere. I wouldn't change my view. I wouldn't make a preconceived idea. What people, very often you see people, actually I'm not going to go down that route. I spoke to a couple of projects recently, and it does stress me out because I think they hurt the industry, and I think there's a lot of people who perhaps aren't fully business savvy, who are in the position of getting a lot of people's money, it's hard-earned money, and making decisions as to how that money should be used. And I think that's wrong. So, and I also think at some stage we're going to probably see regulations come towards these sectors as well if you have a centralised marketplace. But anyway, that's that. So I was going back to that. So anyway, after all that waffle, good news is that Cryptodads, which is unrelated to any of that stuff I've just said, I was trying to highlight the fact they are incredibly transparent. Snapshot, October the 15th. If you have a Cryptodad and you haven't seen the Discord, make sure if you want to get more than one crypto mum, you move one of your Cryptodads to another wallet. So then you get the benefit of getting more than one crypto mum. So if you want to have a little big four-way and you've got two dads, you know, there you go, swap some keys around. Anyway, so that's that. One per wallet, move a dad to another wallet, and you've got to do it by October the 15th. There'll be a wallet snapshot then of all Cryptodads. So hope that's clear. Next up is winter bears. So I talked about winter bears yesterday, and I said roadmap caused some issues. The price is still ticking down. I'm going to be upfront here and say you don't have buy the rumor, sell the news on very, very small NFTs. I think at that stage, maybe there's a few people, but I think very rare for it to truly happen. I think you've sometimes got to get your head out your backside and go, okay, maybe some people were concerned, and I think you are, and we're now starting to get some of the concerns resolved. Nushi, who's one of the project leads, sat and took a lot of questions yesterday on Discord, which was very, very helpful. And I asked, I think, some very tough questions. I asked on behalf of people I know who have similar feelings to me. There is some concern. People get the idea of one of the things they talked about in their initial roadmap was a DAO, an art DAO. I personally think it could have been more clear. What they're saying is the art DAO is separate to the Winter Bears. Although you're buying Winter Bears, it doesn't mean that you have the art DAO. So I don't think you necessarily should mention it. But I think what they were trying to imply was, I think there's an issue with regulation in DeFi, and I think this is where some projects don't want to say this and scare people. I think it happens with all of them. If you sell NFT projects and you sell tokens NFTs and you get the money, you put it in a community wallet, and you're slightly centralized, you have a project lead, and you kind of need that sometimes to make decisions and manage it, and that's normal. And you then make investments and you then share out the returns. In the UK, that's called a collective investment scheme. That's to act in an unregulated manner with a regulated product, even if you haven't got regulation sign off and it's a regulated thing, it's a criminal offence. So in the UK, sorry, cats are going mental, running around my house. In the UK, if you create a collective investment scheme that you haven't got regulation sign off, and you sell it and you run it and you manage people's money, you are breaking the law. It's a criminal factor, and the same as in America as well. So these are the concerns for, I think, some of them. So instead of doing a DAO token, or let's take DAO separately, instead of doing a token, like a tokenized thing, like some NFT projects are doing, they want to do a bear drop. And we'll get to that. And it's something I think quite interesting we've come to in the Winter Bears community last night over that, and I think really could be quite exciting. So the DAO is separate. Don't ever think DAO means a token. DAO means decentralized autonomous organization. Your NFT itself could be your DAO token. It just means, hey, I've got an access token to governance. Now, I come from a Bitcoin fandom background, not a Bitcoin maximalist, as I wouldn't be talking about NFTs otherwise. I just believe in slightly libertarian and anarcho-capitalism. I don't believe in big government. I believe in the sovereign individual, and that's just my take. Some people don't care about that. I do care about it, and I do love the idea of decentralization. I think decentralization has the power to be amazing. I think the idea of arming people with the ability to take a stake in something is fantastic. And so the idea of having a community where it's a true community and everyone votes on issues, but still maybe there is kind of the community nominates a lead to make sure there is some kind of drive and focus and doesn't kind of waffle. That's good, like a democracy essentially. But anyway, so that's where some projects can go on. So that's what I was looking at. They're saying there's a bit of confusion about that, and they've changed how they want to distribute value to holders. Fine, is a different way. The mechanics of it don't bother me, but we were getting to the bottom of it. All right, so this is what we talked about. So one of the things that I think some holders of Winter Bears may have wanted to get the answer of is where is the long-term value coming from? And the idea is we're going to get another bear dropped. It's like, no. That's the mechanics of delivering value, but what makes that bear worth money? And so I think this is where there's been a bit of lack of communication or lack of understanding on all parties. But so my point to this was, I don't believe that bear necessarily has value at this stage, but it could have value if the project builds up more momentum and more value. It's still early days, very early, like 9-10 days in. So, and this is the same for any new project. Just doing another drop doesn't make value. The reason why Mutant Apes had value is because Bored Ape was a very, very valuable community, and I think people saw Mutant Apes as a way of being attached to that Bored Ape brand, but at a lower entry price. And so it created demand and therefore kept a value. So that's how that has a built value. How does Bored Ape have that value? It was one of the first animal avatars in the modern realistic graphic. It's pretty cool, and it just seemed to have captured the imagination. And it became the big thing. Why is CryptoPunks more valuable than SoulPunks? Well, it was the first one, but it was one of the first art pieces on the Ethereum blockchain. Why is any of them? But often they have some historicity to them. So my suggestion was last night was, rather than just dropping a random bear, how about you let people who don't have a rare bear, sounds ridiculous saying rare bear, how about you let people who don't have a rare bear have some kind of bear hamper or bear sauce or whatever that allows them to add a rare trait to their bear that suits something that they wanted. Now, I don't know the mechanics of this, and the reason why I'm saying this is because someone who listens to this may understand how this could be done or where they've seen it elsewhere. So this is my ask, is if you understand what I'm getting at and you know this, please do contact Nushi in the Winter Bears Discord. What is this? If you were a massive Cardano fan and you would love your Winter Bear to have a Cardano t-shirt, and you know as well, by doing that, anyone who's a Cardano fan who likes the Winter Bears graphic and was looking at one and they see the Cardano t-shirt, they're more likely to buy it. So you've got a really unique Winter Bear because you've got something that's different that no one else has. So you might have currently a bear with a rarity of 9,000, but you throw on the Cardano t-shirt and you have a one of one. That is it. So how can it be done in a way that enables? Now one idea was you have the ability to burn your bear and create a whole new one. So you still have a few number of bears. Or the other idea is to create this kind of after dark or alter ego bear, like a mutant bear, I suppose, or a naughty bear, or a bear going to a party. So you have the same bear face, but maybe the outfit changes. There's some really clever stuff to do there. It's quite innovative, and it allows people to express their artwork with their own artistic creativity in mind. That's innovative. That has historical value, and I think that gives significant interest and value into the art pieces, and it'd be one of the first ones who's ever done that. And so I think if someone understands how that could be done, please do contact the Discord, because I think that has innovative historical value, and that is value. So that's exciting. Nushi liked the sound of it. He's going to go away and speak to his own team as well and see if they've got any more ideas of how that can be implemented. But I think it's pretty interesting, and I think that's where there's real value. So that's just mine. Some people like the idea of an animation. I don't mind. I don't understand anything about animation industries, but I like the idea of being able to really add your own artistic innovation to an innovative piece of artwork anyway. So there you go. So that's something, I'll put it out there, if you know it, great. Now let's moving on. What else is coming out today? You've got the Mekaverse lottery. I've given up even trying to get into it. It's going to be massive. It's a massive blockchain game, avatar project. It's going to be big. If you're not in the lottery, you just watch it go by. I think the price is going to go crazy. If it just keeps running, who knows? So there's that going on. Keep an eye out for that. We've also seen the reveal of Turtle DAO, which you might have seen on Twitter, people dropping out when rug. Let's just bring this up here. I've got the screen up. I am just staring at it. Where is the when rugs? Let's go to Turtle DAO. Where is it? Turtle DAO. Turtle DAOs. I can't even find it. You've got so many fakes as well. Turtle DAO. Oh my goodness me. Tropical turtles. How are they getting on? Love these. Very small collection. Check them out. Just play it and chill. Right, Turtle DAO. I don't know how to find them now. They're insane. Turtle DAO. You saw these dropped into people's. Maybe this would be the way to find it. Is it DAO Turtle? They did the reveal last night. I don't know if this is the actual one. This is not the actual one. Right. You'll see turtles like this isn't the one. Don't buy it. Don't get on this. You'll see a reveal that looks a bit like this last night. People are asking to be rugged. The price of it's running up. It's going pretty crazy. It's just a very obscure thing, but they're looking to do a tokenized system where you earn yield, and they're trying to follow a few systems that a few others out there have been doing as well. So I just talked about it a minute ago. I think it's problematic from a financial regulation point of view, but it depends. If it's fully decentralized, fully anonymous, and then there's very little for anyone to actually enforce it. But if it is if it is doxed, then there are problems, and I think that's where you kind of have to get with certain projects. But so that's had his reveal. Keep an eye on that. You'll see that's one of the fastest selling projects right now on the OpenSea market. Let's have a look at some of the top selling products in the last 24 hours. It's been some crazy moves. What else we got talking about? The Moody Krows. So Moody Krows, interesting project, one of the first ones on the Immutable X marketplace, so it's got that historical value to it. It actually was the first one. Now these were flying up before reveal, as often happens. After the reveal, the price dips as everyone kind of trades to try and find the best ones and the rare ones. And so you can see here now, you've seen them about 0.34. They were going almost close to 1 ETH. I saw a lot of people talking about 1 ETH. It's a historical value. It's something I was looking at. I don't think I'm going to get involved in it myself, just because I don't know how excited I am by historical value of a particular layer 2 blockchain. I think there's, it kind of gets to a point where it's like, do I want to get the first NFT on Tezos? No, I don't really. That's not as exciting to me as one of the paramount blockchains. But maybe that will change in 3 years' time, and Immutable X will be this amazing thing, and everyone will be like, oh, imagine getting the first one. So it'll be a missed opportunity. But the prices dip down. Often you get that post reveal. People are pumped, excited. Before reveal happens and the price drops. I saw it a lot. I often ignored that, but it does seem to come to pass. So again, price is down. It was 0.4 something last night. It was 0.5, 0.6 after that. Before that, sorry. If you're looking when to buy, and you've seen a drop and you've missed a drop, wait for the, I mean, unless you can get it very cheap, wait for the after the reveal. Well worth checking out. What else have we got going on this week? We've got auction being held, I think it's Sotheby's or Christie's, of Mooncats. Mooncats were discovered 6 months ago. One of the first generative art pieces on the Ethereum blockchain. They came before CryptoKitties, they came after CryptoPunks, before crypto art. And there's a few different variations on OpenSea of Mooncats. I was looking to buy one yesterday at 1 ETH. I made an offer at 0.9 and it ran up to 1.3. These have got the potential to go a long way. There's a few different variations. You've got the Genesis ones, which can breed other ones, and you've got just the standard ones. And this brings me to, and Logan Paul bought a Genesis one. There's not many of them. There are white ones or black ones, and you can see this is what they look like. They don't look incredibly exciting, but they are historical 2017 NFTs. They are a cheap way to get involved in the historical market, and I think they'll keep their value because there's quite a few of them. Now, on that, let's talk about this, okay? Let's talk about what NFT to buy. And when I say what NFT to buy, I'm talking about, I haven't shown you any of my screen this whole time, actually. This is ridiculous. You've got no idea what I'm talking about. So let me show you my screen. So let's bring it over. Sorry about this. This here, that's Mooncats. Yeah, I've been talking about Turtledows the whole time and they're not on the screen. Ridiculous. So, right, learning. So that's Mooncats. You might see them. They don't look hugely exciting. Let's just keep them running. There you go. There's some Mooncats. They look like pixels. Moody Krows, Immutable X. Here you go. This is what they are here. I can't believe I've been talking about this and the whole time I didn't check. So lesson learned. Check. Yeah, 0.5 they were. 0.4. This is what they look like. This is Immutable X Marketplace. Everyone raves about it. It looks pretty basic. Apparently it's easy to do. In that time, a whole bunch of different collections have just dropped on there. Blah blah blah. That's Senator Warren. I talked about her. Bloomberg Commodity Index hits world record. Actually, before I talk about what NFTs to buy, I want to show you something else. Alcabones, they've now verified. For those of you who hadn't Alcabones, they are now verified, and they have a different collection handle. So there was a V2 version. So if you found the V2 version as a 404 error, don't panic. They've just moved. They're just here now. So this is the one. Floor price flow between 0.8 and 1. 0.1. That was at 0.5, 0.6 at one stage. So it's come right up. But there's been a few issues with that. I actually think the artwork's pretty cool. I think the artwork's kind of cool. It makes a pretty cool avatar. Who knows what they do in the future? I bought one at 0.1 because I just thought, why not? Could be one of those ones you look back on and go, oh yeah, that actually turned out quite well. So just a punt. Anywho, right, top NFTs. So let's just, these are flying up as well actually. I'll just show you these one more thing as well actually. I'll just show you one more thing. I've got two more things to cover. These surreals, these are looking decent. I'm going to probably jump into these myself. I think they look cool. There's a lot of trade going on them. They did come up a bit higher and they've dropped off a bit now, but I think we tend to find that when the European markets open up, particularly if the stocks are dying a death as well. It's probably not the best time to see prices move up. So now's probably quite a good time to buy. I tend to buy crypto at this time of the day, and these are them there. So I think they're kind of cool. Weird avatars, like that one. I like that one a lot. I'm gonna favorite that. Sign. What else we got here? I like. It's kind of cool. 16. I look at how many favorites something has, and then I buy that one because if it's got favorites on it, let's have a look at the bottom price. Little cigarette. It's disgusting. I tend to look at the ones that have had most favorites because I think it might be an easier way to sell it if you have to sell it. So where have we got? Have we got anything with high favorites? Let's sort by favorites. You can sort by price. Sort by. I tend to do this actually. If I want to find something with on the floor price, and I will. Now I'm talking about this. That's 0.26. Let's have a look. 0.29. Apply. And let's do sort by favorites. So this way you can see the most favorited ones on the floor. Now it's not a lot. 0.29. This one here. This little doodah here. What do they do? No idea. Literally no idea. I just thought they looked kind of quirky. So, and they're a bit unique, aren't they? 10,000 items, quite a lot of them. We'll see. Maybe I'll look at that in about an hour's time. Right. So what NFT to buy? Let's talk about this very moment. So there's two different types of NFTs you can look to buy. You could be buying an NFT when it's rare, and you could be buying an NFT off the floor. What does floor mean? Off the floor, sweeping the floor. It's this thing here. It is the cheapest price you can currently buy an NFT in that project for. So sweeping the floor is when people pick up the cheapest ones and they just try and get the floor price back up. Now some people say don't worry about the floor. That's probably because they've got a really rare item. I personally do keep an eye on the floor because I think it gives some indication of the general strength of the market and where it's moving. Sometimes it's deceptive. Someone will throw one really cheap on the floor, perhaps to bring the price down to buy more, maybe. I don't know how often that's done, but definitely probably some people do it. And you also have buying rare and buying rare. So how do you buy rare? Well, you look through things like Rarity Sniper, or Rarity Tools. So let's go to rarity.tools. There are a few of them out there. Rarity Tools tends to be the last one that a lot of projects add. You can things like Gas Wars, Intermezzo. There's a few different sites where you can find the rough rarity of different projects, and it gives you the opportunity to find a really good one cheap. So let's just pick one for example. So Nifty League Degens, right? So let's say you've heard about Nifty League Degens. I know Elio Trades talks about them a lot. I've got one myself. And we want to see what is the cheapest rare one we can get. So what you could do is you could look at all of those that are buy now, and you can go, what is the floor price right now? Floor price is 0.38. So let's just put 0.41. Okay, just to, because it might be a little, sometimes it's a little bit behind. So let's do that. And so now we can see the highest ranked, almost floor price, is DGen 5121, rank 1458. It's fairly rare. Now, is it mind-blowingly rare? No, it's not. You know, top 500, yeah, that's pretty cool. You can say, hey, it's a top 500. You're not really going to say this is a top 1,458. Top 500, kind of cool. Now, how much do you want to pay as a premium? And what I've been looking for as well is I've been trying to find data on this, and I'm struggling. Is how much premium there is attached to different rankings. If you're top 10, what is the statistic average overpayment on the floor for you to have? So you can work out some kind of arbitrage then as to how much you want to pay. So if the floor price is 0.4 and there's something in the top 10 that's 0.7, for example, very rare, but say there is 0.7, and statistically across all collections, people tend to pay a premium of 3 times floor price for a top 10 thing. You can go, okay, that's a good guess. It's a good gamble to go for. And you can look at that levels of movement. How much more extra movement is there going to be there? So think about those things. Is how much more do you want to pay for rarity, and how much more there is. Now I paid for a high rarity, fairly high rarity Winter Bear, and I think the reality is I'm struggling to see. I think there's less people who are willing to pay top dollar in a project that isn't yet blue chip than there is willing to pay floor price. So if you're looking to get involved in an NFT project, my personal advice at this stage is until you are really comfortable in there, perhaps just go for the floor. Go for the floor price, and you can just watch the floor move, and you make that way. Now, if you can find rarity at floor price, definitely always look for the highest ranked floor price you can get, and use things like Rarity Tools. Another one is Gas Wars. Check them out there. They're a recommendation from someone in a Discord. The value of Discords. What have we got? The official surreals. So here we go. I'll be looking through this in a second. Let's look at another one. Let's go to Mooncats. Mooncats have been there. These are actually selling fast. These are selling fast at the moment. Christ, they're expensive. And you just have a look. And the reason why is there are some people who would have picked up their first NFT. And look, this is pretty harsh, but some people who picked up their very first NFT and they won't understand rarity. They'll go, I've got one now. And they may end up with a really rare one. And they may have it for sale at floor price effectively. And in that you can pick up a winner. So you can see here you've got top 30, that's 650. Someone up here ranked 7th. Someone's trying to sell the number 11 for twice the price. There is number 33 ETH 0.33 for 11. It's skeleton. It's kind of cool, but it's not. Oh, these are all ranked. Let's have a look. More money than someone's ranked 2. So yeah, that's what it is. So if you buy rare, expect that you've got a smaller pool of people to sell to. There are people who want to buy rare, but there's lots of rare things, and they're going to spend more money, so they're going to be buying less. Okay, you've got a lot of the NFT traders, the big whale traders. They tend to clear the floor. Okay, so if you want something that's easy to sell, that doesn't over leverage yourself, you're already going to be exposed to a leveraged trade in this, in the whole scheme of risk, appetite, risk and reward. Maybe looking at the floor is a good way. Get the cheapest one you can get. If you can get the best cheapest one you can get, and perhaps sort by favourites, just like I did there. If you do want to go into rarity, look at a project that you've done a bit of research on, because you're going to be spending over the odds. Make sure that the roadmap makes sense. Make sure there's no surprises around the corner that's going to cause the price to come down. Make sure that you see long-term value being generated for this project that means someone wants to buy a rare one. Make those checks first. So that's what I would say when it comes to knowing what NFT to buy. Look at the kind of the bigger picture before. You should be looking at the picture anyway before you even go out and buy a floor price. But floor price, rarity. I sometimes buy rarity if I've already got everything else ticked. In hindsight, I've made some rarity purchasing decisions that I probably wouldn't do again, because I end up buying 6-7 times above the floor price and missed out on some really good gains. So don't make the mistake I did. If it's a new project, a fast-growing project, unless it's really, really, really cheap and you manage to bag an absolute score in the top, just get the floor price ones. That's that for NFT talk and discussions. I've mentioned Winter Bears. We've talked about the Mooncats. If you're looking for something that's a historical project, they've got their auction coming out towards the end of this week. I think it's the end of this week. And if there is a big sell, although they're selling the Genesis cats, it's going to attract a lot more attention to the Mooncats, and people are going to start flying in there. I'm seeing them mentioned quite a lot on Twitter. NFTmachine.eth is a Twitter handle that talks about a lot of up-and-coming projects, a lot of pumpy projects. Check them out there as well. But that could certainly move the market there. Otherwise, apologies for the issues there where I wasn't actually showing you the screen. And if you can give me another chance, do check out, do follow us over on Twitter. I tend to spend a lot of my time on Twitter there talking about. Different crypto things and just general news. And here I am again. So yeah, that's an absolute mess of a stream. We're trying to rush it all in with cats, with the cleaners coming out. Thanks for watching. So if you recap, if you are a winter bear and you know how that can work with the source thing or the pecking hamper, drop a message in the Art Ideas section of Discord. Cryptodads, make sure that you've sorted out your dads and your wallets by October the 15th. Watch Mekaverse. Moody Krows, it's getting cheaper. If you were looking at it, it is coming down now because it's been post reveal. And again, if you're wondering what NFT to buy, consider looking at the floor price. If you look at the floor price, having a look for the cheapest floor price you can get with the rarity, I think is often a good compromise. Other than that, check out Surreals. They look pretty cool. They could be going somewhere. And we've seen overnight as well, Cryptotrex is going flying. There's very, very little information on this, so I'm going to let you do your own research on it. But check out at Cryptotrex NFT. It's on Twitter. Look at the links and the handles, the information. And you know what? I'll make your life a little bit easier. Let's bring the screen sharing up again. Bring that across. Right, this is a bit of a mental project. Cryptotrex. Let's find it. Cryptotrex. NFT. This account here. Stuff's happening here. It's the punt of all punts. I picked it up last night at 0.1. It's floating about 0.4, 0.5 now. It's kind of there's only 1100. It's going to be a staking based project. There's going to be drops. It could be something. It could be nothing. Don't FOMO. If you want to FOMO. Who am I to tell you not to FOMO? Check it out. It could be interesting, or it could be the biggest rug pull I've just walked myself into. So, without further ado, thanks for watching. Bye.